Hey you, welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. My name is Satchmo. This is episode 39. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to take a quick trip into the admin building, and we're going to cancel this strategy that we got last time, the patents licensing strategy, which is going to take science and give us money. And we're going to cancel it, there we go, so that way we can buy it again, but this time with more commitment. Seems how we have 4,000 science to deal with, we're going to bump this up until we can fully commit to it, which is the only thing stopping us is that the admin building is not leveled up yet. So let's go ahead and upgrade him all the way, fully upgraded. There we go. Grab the patents licensing. And okay, reputation must be at 750 and it's currently at 719. Wow, that's frustrating. Let's see. Oh, okay, but I can get 97%. So anyway, this is going to take 97 science from both contracts and field work, and it's going to yield two separate numbers here for that amount of funds. So we're going to go ahead and commit to that, and it's going to take a bunch of our science. Unfortunately, it doesn't immediately give us any money for it, but I think we can do this right here. We can take a research rights sellout, and we can immediately transfer the rest of how much science we have into funds that we can use right now. Because again, right now, science is useless to us. So we have... Okay, I can fully commit to this. It's going to take the better part of 1,300 science, and it's going to give us, it looks like 67,000 funds. So that's going to help pay back a little bit of what we spent, excuse me, on the R&D building. There we go. So then we're just converting all of our science into money, first in the short term, and next in the long term. So anyway, that's just a little something that we can use to give ourselves a little bit of money. If I ever want to squeeze out that last 2%, we do have the option. At any rate, today we're going to Moho. So it is the innermost planet, and it is particularly difficult to get to because it's hard to slow down once you get there. I'm going to do like I have been doing, and I'm going to modify the Rubique, I think is what I want to do. Because the Rubique has been working remarkably well for me. So I want to use it again. Let me see real quick. We're going to take, we're going to go to sub-assemblies. And I'm going to drop off everything but the top. There we go, because I can't use the command, I can't subassembly the command pod. So let's take off all of this and put it in a drop zone. And we're going to say Rubique, ROB, IQ, Rubique, bottom stages. I'm going to say good for interplanetary travel. Why not? There we go. So that is saved, and I can now ditch this and just focus on the upper portion here. So let's think. In fact, we're just going to go ahead and ditch this too and start from scratch. So I think we want to do a lander can. We'll do a lander can. Why not? At least to start with. The lander can needs to be able to decouple. I should mention we're doing this kind of Apollo style. So we're going to orbit Moho and then drop a lander, and then the lander's going to rendezvous with the thing and then come back home. So what I'm building right now is the landing portion of it. So anyway, first thing I need to keep in mind is that this does need to dock, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to, of course, we have one spot here for our Kerbal, which is great. The body of the thing, as always, is going to be some kind of fuel tank, and I don't know exactly how much fuel we're going to need presently, but maybe more than that. Let's start with something like that, and then that's a holding tank. Where is the these little tanks? I've seen somebody online do this, and I want to do it too because it looked like a lot of fun. So we're going to snap those to the side. Maybe not that much, it's kind of hard to tell. And because the bottom one is attached to the core, but then the upper ones are not, they're only attached to the bottom, I'm going to strut that as well, just to make sure everything stays where it ought. And then this is a good place. Let's take this off real quick. This is probably a good place for the science that we're going to be doing. It's going to be under payload, isn't it? Yeah. How does this thing... Okay, that's too big. Let me think about how we're going to get all that science down there and back. Maybe I'll use the poodle. Now that I'm looking at it, let me see if I can maybe use the poodle. So let's attach that. Everything is, of course, now just getting bigger and bigger, as it always does in rocketry. Seems like once you have one idea and you're like, oh, let's improve this, now you have to, like, it just gets out of hand. But because I really want to use this thing that I've been using this entire playthrough, I want to, I think I'm going to use this. So, put all of the appropriate science pieces in here. A thermometer would be nice. Put a Kerbal engineering system in there too, for reasons we'll talk about later. Put a Gravimax and a seismometer. Likewise, this would be a good place to store the energy things. These guys right here. I can stack a couple of those on there as well. Just kind of around the side. And that should be good. Alright, with that in mind, let's rethink the fuel situation. And maybe I can use this bigger one. There. With the poodle is now the appropriate size for that. Which I do like using the poodle anyway. I think I remember using the poodle for all of my Duna missions. I'm pretty sure I did. And then now, since we stepped up this thing, we'll step up this too. And I'll do the same concept as before, but with this. So, let's take that and attach those to the side. And this would be a good place for the legs. Check clearance, obviously. Clearance looks fine. Let's retract them. This looks like our little lander dude. And he looks happy. He's got 4,000 Delta V, so yeah, he's probably going to be fine. I don't think I'm going to need... taking a little bit of a risk here. I'm pretty sure I don't need... Let me see something real quick. Let me think real quick. I'm thinking about landing, like getting the Kerbals off. It should be okay. He should be able to use his jetpack to just hop off here and jetpack down and then jetpack back up. I'm going to assume that's okay. I sure hope it is. At any rate, there'll be a pilot on here, so I don't need comm. He's already got that. He needs RCS. So which one is the appropriate size? Not that one. And I really don't need a lot of RCS, but to keep it even, I'll put those on there. And then I'll put RCS blocks just somewhere appropriate. Let me look at the center mass. There we go, that should be fine. And that'll be it, right? It can decouple, it'll fly down. It's got, of course, the booster and legs, and it's got all the science. It's got a place for the guy. It's going to redock. It's got electric charge. This will hold electric charge. This holds 50 units itself, and of course it'll be producing electric charge in there. Not to mention the poodle has an alternator as well. So yeah, this to me looks like a fine lander. A little bit awkward looking, but fine. So, with that in mind, first of all, let's go ahead and change this to 3 before I forget. Goes to Jewel. No fool. Goes to Moho. Okay. Let's grab the subassembly. And we'll try to make sure this stuff actually goes together. So let's just attach it, just so I can work on it. And then, of course, I have to unattach it and all that other stuff, or detach it is what I should say. First of all, let's cancel this fairing. Delete fairing. There we go. Give me some room to work here. First thing I'm noticing is I don't need this bay anymore. So because all of that is up here. Let's take this off again. Let's take that and flip it upside down. And I'm not entirely sure I can do this, but I'm pretty sure I can just detach. Let me see real quick. That. Where is the decoupler? There we go. Attach those nose to nose and then stick that on there. And this is actually what's going to land back home. So I want the let me think real quick. I want maybe the payload. Let's do this. And all I'm going to put in here is the where is it at? There we go. All I'm going to put in here is that. It doesn't need to be this big, but it fits on the bottom here, so that's why I want this big old payload cavity for it. And thermal, we're looking at that guy, right? Yes. Okay. Something to consider here is I have 2 heat shields. Let's take that bottom one off, throw it away. Let's take that one off and throw it away. I think I had 3 on there. Okay. So when it's all said and done, everybody will hop into this vehicle. I will transfer all of the science into here. Let's close that. And then this will jettison and everybody will come home just in this. Okay, so with that in mind, we of course also need a bunch of parachutes right there. Let's just do them kind of wacky like that. Why not? And this has got the reaction wheel on it. This does not have a reaction wheel. So let's think about putting a reaction wheel on here somewhere. Doesn't need to be a big one. It'll be under command and control. That little guy will be fine. Just so that when we're doing our docking maneuvers, I can twist the thing around if I need to. Okay, let me think. Alright, so we got our lander, and we already kind of sanity checked that. We got the docking port here. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to at least initially strut this stuff. No, the game said that was too weird. Don't do that. And it's like, alright, I agree. Let's just do that. There we go. That's weird. Alright, so let's strut that. That should be fine. And then we have the part that's actually going to rendezvous and then land back. Yeah, okay, I think all of this should work. Let me build the fairing. Oh, and our struts have come undone. And this was critical last time, so I want to make sure that those work. Oh, okay, only some of them work. I do kind of hate this whole spaghetti strut thing I got going on here. Yeah, man, come on. Well, some of them attach, some of them don't. I'm gonna assume it's okay. And let's take a look at our Delta V. Looking like about 14 grand total. This should be plenty. Build fairing. Let's build out just as big as I need to, no bigger. And unfortunately, that's not big enough. Right there, maybe, and then close it. Okay, there we go. Alright, unless I've missed something drastic, which I think I have. I also want to make sure I have a way to generate energy on the orbiter as well. That's pretty critical. You know what? I don't need these big ones. We'll just do the 1x6s. Okay, that'd be fine. And let's put those on an action group. Save myself just a little bit of time. Custom 1, toggle. All right. Okay, so I will be able to generate on the orbiter. And staging appears to be okay. Those are all of those, and then okay. I'll be checking my staging the entire time, but here we go. This looks to me like it's going to be okay. This should be enough to get to Moho, land, and come back. Hopefully that portion of the build process was in some way helpful to you. Let's go ahead and save and launch. Cool, so today is Wednesday for me. And I'm recording these videos for Thursday and Friday because I'm pretty sure this is going to be enough content to fill 2 videos. However, I don't really know... Oh, this thing is upside down. Let me fix that. Sorry. Vehicle assembly. Also, I didn't put the correct crew in or anything, so let me fix all this real quick. Crew. Yes, the Jeb can fly. We're going to need a scientist and another, I guess him, just because he doesn't have the experience. And then only 3 because, let's take him out and put, no. I can't assign him to a specific place. Okay, you can, okay. I don't want anybody, I don't need 4 people because I only have 3 seats for the return journey, so that's important. I've made that mistake before. And then I'm also going to route to this port part right here. That's also... Oh, it's open. Okay. Let's also reroute to there. Okay. So the game should be considering everything from this position. So okay. Save and launch. Anyway, I hope this is enough content. I think it's going to be enough content for 2 videos, so I can do my Thursday video and my Friday video. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is just to say I'll probably just kind of cut this video kind of somewhere in the middle. And I don't know where that place is right now, obviously, as I'm playing the game. I don't know how much I'm going to be editing out. It's going to take me getting into Final Cut, or not Final Cut, what do I use? Premiere. I don't know why I said Final Cut. To actually do that. So if you see me if the video kind of ends in a weird place without me saying bye or whatever, that is why. I'll probably put some text on the screen just to let you know what's going on. But at any rate, I didn't want to seem rude, so I'll go ahead and preempt it now. So for the most part, this mission is going to be pretty standard, just like a lot of the stuff that we've already seen. The last couple times I haven't been rolling over soon enough, I don't feel like, so I'm going to try to roll over a little bit sooner in this one, because this craft actually flies really, really well. And I feel like I really haven't been giving it the profile it deserves. So I'm trying to turn over pretty abruptly. See, I'm almost at 45 degrees up now, and we're about 9k, so maybe a little bit aggressive, but here I'm at 45 and just hit 10, so to me this is a pretty solid launch. And at this point I'm just going to hop on the prograde marker and let it do its own thing. let it kind of carry itself over. I'm going to switch to a more cinematic view. And we'll decouple all of this. Very cool. I love watching that. We quite enjoy that. Alright, so we have Kerbal Engineer with us. We'll be getting nice information up here. But there's actually one special reason that I wanted Kerbal Engineer, and even though I'm teasing it right now, I'm not going to say exactly what that reason is. I'll just say it involves the landing process at Moho, something that we actually haven't done yet, and I don't think I've even really described in this playthrough. I'm sure a lot of people are already aware of it. Excuse me. But there's a chance that you're not. So I'm going to keep it mum until then. But there is another reason we have Kerbal Engineer. Of course, I just love having Kerbal Engineer. Anyway, I think it's a great tool to have. But there is another reason. Excuse me. Yeah, beautiful launch. Very hands-off. Very, very pretty. No real like atmospheric effects or anything like that. It was in complete control the whole time. I love the way it just kind of gently turns over. Yeah, we're hitting the horizon. Getting a little close to the horizon, so we're going to stop gaining altitude so fast, but we're kind of up out of the atmosphere. So there isn't a whole lot to slow us down at this point. So all of our energy is going directly to picking up speed. So that's the orbital portion, which is the important part during all of this. So now I've forgotten the transfer window for Moho, like where I need to be with respect to Moho. In fact, I've forgotten to even like time warp to that place or anything. So I will I'll probably put a quick edit in here while I go look that up and come back. So yeah, we are almost orbital. We're almost circular already. However, circular is kind of below the. There we go. Apoapsis is at 70, and periapsis is coming up. So we are almost circular already. In fact, let's just look at it. And there we go. Apoapsis is up around 127, which is fine for me. So I went ahead and killed my velocity. And yeah, we are already in orbit. Periapsis is a little low, but it's going to take nothing just to bump that up. I do want this to be kind of in a high orbit. 127 is a lot higher than I normally do. If you've watched the series, you know that. I like to go for like between 70 and 80. But again, when we're using these nerve atomic motors, it's kind of imperative that we deploy. Let's go ahead and press 1 as well. I'm thinking about it, so we get the solar panels out, because I do not want to forget that. Anyway, it's kind of imperative that we get into a nice high orbit so we don't crash back into the planet whenever we're doing our transfer burn. Anyway, this will be a good place for me to edit the video real quick. I'm just going to put my periapsis up to what my apoapsis is, so it's nice and circular, and then go look up my transfer window, and I'll see you once I figured all that out. Okay, wow. So I just looked it up, and it looks like Moho is about 90 degrees behind Kerbal, which is incredible, because when I scrolled out, it's exactly, or I say exactly, it's pretty close to being there right now. That's an interesting thing right there. Look, there's something on the screen covering that up. Something about this nav ball. That's interesting. I haven't seen it before. You're looking right here next to the nav ball. There's something that covers up. Just the way that the game is drawn. It's like there's something being drawn on top of it. Anyway, yeah, and it looks like we are already in position, or near enough. So incredible, very, very cool. That happened completely by accident. Why is that floating around? What? Why did that happen? There are several parts of my ship that are just flying around. What? Okay. I'm going to revert to launch, and oops, not vehicle assembly, whatever. Well, I'm going to do that launch over again, as frustrating as this is, because my ship just decided to explode, and I have no idea why. Taking a look right now, I have no idea why that came detached right here. Zero idea. Huh. Okay, and we're back. I don't know. I did the exact same thing. I didn't get as pretty as of a launch, but I am kind of circular right at 101 and 100 km, apoapsis and periapsis respectively. And my ship is holding together. I observed it the whole way up. When I released the fairing, I looked to see if anything happened. I have no idea why the ship just fell apart. There's not even a decoupler here. which is my first thought was, oh man, I activated a coupler I shouldn't have activated. So I have no idea. I guess just the Kraken got me. So I don't know. Really hard to say. Unfortunate. Just a little bit of wasted time, but it is that which it is. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get ourselves an escape trajectory. And we're going to be doing the reverse of what we have been doing every other time, which is, although we want to add velocity to the Kerbal system, or Kerbin system, there we go, we want to subtract it from the Kerbal system. Okay, so also set this out target too. So we need to burn in a way that we're leaving Kerbin, but we're actually subtracting energy from Kerbal, the sun, and that is what's actually going to give us our intercept with Moho. So here I am setting up a node here to try to get close. Now Moho is a bit inclined, so that might be part of the reason why I'm not getting anything. It's kind of hard to say. I'm going to just kind of fiddle with this a little bit and see if I can snag something. That seems to be pretty. Oh no, that's not close at all. Extra velocity. It pulls it inward. I feel like I left it about the right launch window. So it's kind of interesting that I'm not getting the intercept I was expecting. With that in mind, let's set up a second maneuver. Well, no, let's go ahead and do it here. And let's see if changing our inclination does anything. Gotta be careful about adding too many maneuvers because it's going to get more and more costly. So we'll continue to do this. And we'll check our time as well. Oh, that's getting too expensive. Let's just start over. Yeah, this looks like the position that the planet should be in with respect to each other. With Moho about 90 degrees away. You know what? Maybe it doesn't look like it's 90 degrees. Maybe let's let Moho catch up a little bit more. Oh, and I can't time warp at this point. Okay, I'm going to switch to the tracking station, and then I'm going to speed warp, and then I'll come back. Okay, well, it's not working still. What I've decided on is I'm just going to do this, and then with, about $2,000, a little over $2,000, and put my periapsis about as far out as this is, and then we'll just make a couple orbits and see if we line up with it. So let me go ahead and perform that maneuver. Okay, so I finished that burn, and got kind of, I actually stopped a little short because I wanted to set something up. And so I went to I set up a maneuver at the ascending node here with a combination of an inclination change and a little bit of a retrograde to pull me in. And I do indeed have an encounter for 1007 delta V, which is, I think, well within budget. So it's more than I think I'd like to spend, but it's okay. The problem is I had to do several orbit skips because I'm kind of in a 2-to-1 resonancy with the planet. If you don't know what that means, essentially what I'm trying to say is that if the planet's right here and I'm right here, then the planet's going to go around twice by the time I get back to 1. The problem with that is that means that we're going to hit the same spots every single time. So the more complex the resonancy in terms of refraction, the different places that you'll wind up. Now we're not in the 2-to-1 orbit resonancy specifically, or exactly, I should say. So the orbit is going to change every time. So it took several different orbits. In fact, it's going to be 7 years from now. So I should go ahead and start time warping. Anyway, so yeah, my job now is to find something to do for the next several minutes while I wait for 7 years to pass of me spinning round and round this planet. But eventually, I'll be able to actually perform this maneuver and fly out to Moho for only about $1,000. So I think this is going to be okay. Of Of course, obviously, I'm not going to talk through that or make you wait through it. So again, a little bit more editing, but I will see you on the other side. Alright, pulling up on the end here of our burn. It finally took, 7 years to get here. But we're finally at the end, and I'm just waiting for that approach to happen. Just looking to see if I'm actually going to get that intercept. And any second now. If I've timed everything properly, which I believe I have. Yep, there it is. You see it changed to kind of a purple there. And yes, there we go. I have an intercept. Fantastic. A lot of waiting. So now, you know the drill here. I'm going to add a maneuver way over here. I'm going to start switching over to Moho. And we're going to adjust our approach a little bit. We're going to get a little closer. I like to be going... yes, I like to be going anti-clockwise around the planet. So going in front of the planet seems fine. Unless in my head I've messed something up, but I don't think I have. And also don't mind getting nice and close to the planet. Barely moving this thing. Trying to get it pretty equatorial. It's going to be hard to get perfect, but it'll be okay. Oops, wrong way. I'll do it over here because I'm having a hard time getting it delicate. Excuse me. And let's take a look here. Let's do something like 15 or 20 or something like that. 50, 30, there we go, 32. Seems fine. Seems pretty close to the planet. I'm not exactly sure how big this planet is or how tall the moons are, but that looks fine. I'm going to go ahead and hop over on our maneuver node now. We still have 87 days to wait before we get there. Typical. So I'm going to time warp and go ahead and do this. This is kind of the boring part of the of playing the game is going through all of this. Unfortunately, it does have to be done. I guess if you don't know how to do it, or if you're... Well, it's also pretty frustrating if you don't know how to do it, but if you're just playing the game for the first time, I could totally see this being an exciting moment for you. But after having done it so many times, it does start to get a little bit tedious. And it's hard to find things to like talk about or anything else during it, so it's better for me just to kind of speed through it at this point, kind of get to the end. And where's my node? There we are. Go ahead and start. I wish this yellow line would go away when you zoom in close. Nope. And that's fine. Yep, that's fine. I can make it kind of more equatorial later. That should be okay. Let's go ahead and put another quick save in here. And I'm going to go ahead and let the game time warp me. Meanwhile, I can do a maneuver here to capture. Excuse me. And this is going to be a big capture. That's why Moho is hard. It's because, yeah, it's cost $2 grand to capture here. So very, very tough. Perhaps this is at 36. Doesn't need to be circular, but it's going to make my life easier during rendezvous. So I may as well go ahead and circularize as best I can. So we'll do 36 by 36 orbit. If I can set that up. No. Let's just highlight both of these, and I'll move the time. There we go, 36 by 37 seems fine for me. Again, hop on the maneuver node. That's only an hour away now, so this part I can talk through because this is kind of the exciting part, I think. And this I will all do from this view, because this is going to be kind of exciting. Make sure I don't pass up my thing here. Yeah, it is a 12-minute burn, so nothing to shake a stick at for sure. 9, 7, 6. Oh, here we are. 6:01 is our time. And I'll, of course, speed through it. And boom. Okay. 6:01. Yeah, of course, I'll time warp through this segment, but it is kind of cool to see the planet kind of careening towards you and you doing your best to slow yourself down. I mean, you're absolutely slamming on the brakes right now, trying to stay at the planet without flying past it. And again, that is the hard part about Moho, is just is actually getting that capture. It's just really, really tough to slam on the brakes and capture here. So the rest of everything is actually pretty easy. It's not that difficult on the way home. At least I don't remember being difficult on the way home. I should be, I could be in for a little bit of a surprise if that is the case. However, all we're going to do here, because I'm going to speed through this and get to the landing, which I think is the part that everybody really wants to see. It's the part that I'm looking forward to actually doing. Is I'm just going to go ahead and do the circularization here, and then I will put the correct Kerbal in the landing pod. I'll detach him, and we'll fly around to the light side of the moon and perform our landing maneuver. So let's go ahead and let's get to that point.